Okay, in this exercise, I want to show you how to do a number of things using Microsoft Word, and you will be using these techniques in creating your sample Microsoft Word lab report. So the first thing that I want to show you how to do is to adjust font sizes. I want to show you how to change line spacing, adjust margins and guttering in Microsoft Word, insert an image in Microsoft Word, insert an excerpt from Microsoft Excel, to insert headers and footers, to include page numbering while omitting the page number from the top page, to use equation editor, and to save the document as a PDF file. Okay, I've included some Latin sample text, lorem ipsum dolor, and I'm going to highlight this now in order to adjust the font sizes. We'll see that the text that is included is of a size 11 point. So let's change that up to 16. And you can see there's a very clear change in the size of that text. It's also got a font type of Calibri body. Let's change that to something very different. And Berlin Sans FB Demi as an example. So I'm going to hit Control Z on having done that. And I'm going to hit Control Z again to bring us back to where we were in the first place. So we'll see that our text is 11 point in size and it's Calibri body in size. But we changed to a couple of other fonts and to 16 point in size. Okay, so we've done that. I'm going to do a strike through by using that item on the bar. So now I'm going to change the line spacing. You can see that we are single line spaced for that paragraph. Let's highlight it, right click on paragraph and go to where it says line spacing and change that to double. Click OK. And you'll see that there is now significant space between each line, which doesn't appear in standard or the default line spacing that I included. You may have to change those depending on the specifications of the publisher of any document that you need to publish. So now you can see how to do that. So we'll do a strike through on that. I want to show you how to adjust the margins and guttering in Microsoft Word. So I want to just change the color and bold both of those items so that you can see what I'm about to talk about. If you are familiar with the book, as you will be, you will notice oftentimes that the amount of space between the leftmost piece of text and the edge can be different to that on the right side. And the reason perhaps that you might notice that is because the book is bound. And if you open a bound book, you'll often find that there is more paper on the left side where the binding is, in order to make it that when you open the book, that you're able to read the text that is on the leftmost side of the page as easily as you would any other piece of text on the page, because the very active binding causes the page to have a curve on the side where the binding is. So in order to account for the possibility that a document that you create will be bound, you have the opportunity to change the amount of space on that left side in order to make it possible for the person that's reading to read it more easily. You can also adjust the margin sizes either on the left or on the right, top or bottom. So let's do that. So we're going to go into layout, margins, go to custom margins. There are options that you can choose, but let's go into custom margins. And the margins in this document are both at 2.54 centimeters. So I'm going to adjust the left one to make it 2 centimeters. And now I'm going to click OK, and you can see that that has changed. You can also see that the margin on the right-hand side hasn't changed. Let's go and change that one now as well. Go into custom margins, right, and down to 2 centimeters. There you go. So Now, let's say that this is a document that we're going to have bound on the left side. We could have it bound on the top, but let's say this one is going to be bound on the left. We need to click on Margins, Custom Margins, and go to where the item is for the gutter. Gutter position is on the left, could be on the top, but we're going to leave it on the left. And we're going to change the size of the gutter to 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter. And you will see that the amount of space on the left side is reflected of the size of the margin plus the size of the gutter, whereas on the right side we only have the size of the margin because it's going to be bound on the left side. So that's where your margins and guttering are adjusted and why you might use them. We're going to hit Control Z. So I'm going to strike through on that as well. So now I want to insert an image in Microsoft Word. So I'm going to insert an image by clicking Insert, Pictures. And here's one I prepared earlier, the young slits experiment. And I'm clicking Insert. And it just happens to insert it on the left-hand side. So I may want to change the size. So I'll drag corner as such and go back to home. And I'm going to change the location in the document. I can put it in the middle. I can right justify it. I can left justify it. This occasion, I want to put it in the middle of the document, so it's going to be center justified. And there you go. I've inserted an image. So now I want to insert excerpts from Microsoft Excel. So I will just create some space here to do that. Maybe I'll make that smaller. So I'm going to go to Microsoft Excel and I'm going to choose, I'm going to take 4 columns here, right click, copy, back to Microsoft Word, Control B, and that is copied. I'm going to highlight that entire set of rows and columns, that table. I'm going to center justify it as well, which you can do in the same way that you would have done with the picture. I'm now going to insert from Microsoft Excel a chart. So I'm going to copy that chart. I'm going to bring it back to the page, hit Control V, and once again we can change the size of the chart and change its justification, left, right, or center justified. So there are a few things that you will be doing in your Microsoft Excel exercise. Let's strike through that. Okay, every now and again you should save in case you have a computer crash. So save your work regularly. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is show you how to insert headers and footers. So we now have a number of pages in our document. We have a top page and we have a number of other pages, but let's just go into Insert, Header, and I'm just going to choose this one here. You can choose from quite a number of possibilities, and you can create one to your own design if you wish. But I'm just going to choose one with 3 columns, and I'm going to edit that. So let's just call it Author Ray Murphy PS154 DCU. School of Physical Sciences. And so there you go. We've got a header, and that header should be visible on all pages if that's how you want it to be. And I'll show you in a second how you can change that. That is what you want to do. So I'm now going to just go and insert footer. So you can, okay, let's choose a similar footer. So we could call it experiment 1, PS154, restating that probably, not a great idea, but, and in here, I want to insert page number. So I'm going to go up here and click on page number, bottom of the page, and going to choose one of the options available. I like this one, page 1 of 1, page 2 of 4, as it happens to be. That is obliterated the other stuff that I had in there. So let's just go back and insert other things. What did I have? I had PS154, experiment 1, and we want the page to be on the right hand side, page 2 of 4 to be on the right hand side. So I've now formatted the footer to have 3 items that I wanted to include. So let's look at this. We've got a header, got a footer, page 1 of 4, page 2 of 4, page 3 of 4, page 4 of 4, and that's all good. We formatted them in the way that we wanted them to be, and that's good. However, it may be that on the top page you don't want your header or footer to be included. So let's double click into the footer, and let's say we take the item different for first page. So we can click on that, and our first page is the one that we've got here, and we see that there is no footer and there is no header, and that it is on the second page, and it tells me page 2 of 4. It doesn't identify page 1 of 4, but it does take account of the fact that the second page is page 2, as opposed to somehow inserting page 1 of 4 in there. And so that's all good. So double click in the main part of the document. Now we've completed our insert headers and footers. So I've also included page numbering in the footer while omitting the page number from the top page. Great. So next thing I want to do is to use equation editor in Microsoft Word. So I'm going to come down to where I have already inserted an equation from before. Recognize it as the equation, quadratic, the formula's quadratic equation. So I'm going to just recreate that. And first of all, I want to show you that this is a well-formatted formula. It is entirely created within Microsoft Equation Editor. Sometimes I find students will create a formula which has a number of pieces. So you could have like the x equals, and then somehow the rest of the formula is distinct from that. So I'll just keep in mind that we want to create a formula that is entirely whole and created within Microsoft Equation Editor. I'll come back to that in a second. So I'm going to go Insert, Equation, and I want to make a new equation because I want to create a quadratic equation in the format that you see it entirely from scratch. So it's given me a dialog box where I can start to enter whatever I like to enter. So I'm going to type in there x equals. Now I have to create a fraction. So one of the options up here, one of the many options available, is that of fraction format. So I'm going to just choose, I think, this one here, first one in the list. And that's grand. So I'm going to put in minus b, which I just type using the keyboard. Then I'm going to choose the plus or minus from the list of possible symbols available to me. So that's grand. Now I want to put in the square root symbol, and that is one of the options in radical. So let's choose, happens to be this one. You will notice that there are a number of common ones available, so use it to the full extent possible. But since I'm showing you how to do this from basic level, I suppose I'm going to just choose this one here. So so I need to put in, well, I guess I'm going to delete that because what I actually want to do is I want to insert a script. So it's going to be with superscript. So I'm going to choose this one here. I could choose this one, but I'm going to do it the long way. So I'm going to put in B and I'm going to highlight the superscript box and put 2 in there. So once again, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that you can see it. So if I go down to the back, see it so that you can see it a little bit better. So if I go down to the bottom right-hand corner, I can actually zoom up. So, so we now need to go -4 AC, and that is the upper part of the equation completed. I'm going to put 2A in there, and our quadratic equation is completed. So let me go back to what I said a little while earlier. Sometimes I find students going X, and that makes it a capital because that's what Microsoft Word tends to do, equals, and then they say, okay, I better insert an equation. So then they go to equation, type equation here. I'm going to use those that have been created before, let's say. And if I sort of center justify that, I find that, well, they are 2 separate entities. So that's not a good thing. When I'm asking you to create a formula within Microsoft Word using the equation editor, it needs to be all a single entity, and that's evident when the mouse is hovered over the equation. So this is good. That's a single entity. This is not that good because it's 2 separate entities, and the X and the equals is separate to where it needs to be. So I'm just going to highlight all of that and delete it. So we've created a replica of the quadratic equation. So I'm going to go back up to the top. I'm going to change the size again. I click and do a strike through on use equation editor in Microsoft Word. Finally, I want to save the document as a PDF file. You will remember that I saved it a while ago. So I'm going to go File, Save As, click on the location that I want to save it, and I'm going to choose PDF as the option. So Microsoft Word Demo PDF, click Save, and that has been saved as a PDF on my computer. It shows me that I've got a PDF which has popped up in my browser. Close that. I'm going to go back into Microsoft Word and do a strike through. So I've shown you all of the techniques that I think that you will need in order to create sample lab reports that you will be creating in your Microsoft Word class.